Ask yourself the damn question. Is winning the only thing to you?
Sports today are not just played on the field. They're played every day, online, all over the world, by sports fans just like you.
Don't you dare breathe. That won't get you anywhere. If you don't think you're a winner, you don't belong here.
The Star Fantasy League Show puts you in control of your own team. Find out who to sit, who to start, how to play, and have your daily fantasy sports questions answered with your host, Jonathan Sprung, and co-host SFL CEO Zach Stanley and Nick Steblenko. The Star Fantasy League Show is on the air now.
Hello and welcome to the Star Fantasy League Show here on 105.5 The Team in Rochester. I am your host, Jonathan Sprung, joined, as always, by SFL CEO, Mr. Zach Stanley.
Hello, Jonald. Talking about a good team today.
I'm not going to say anything until you make your stupid first pun. Go ahead.
No, I'm aware of the team we're talking to.
You're aware? Ah, okay. Nick Steblenko, Teddy Bear 2, I'm sure you have another stupid pun for us.
Well, no, I'm not going to say any because you're being negative about it. That's not very nice.
I've been negative for...
Instead, I'm going to ward you off. Oh.
See, he even knows I'm going to insult him, so he has ones for that,
We always have a ball on this show.
All right.
And don't make fun of Nick. Nick's the Manning.
Ah, no, that was a crappy one.
That was good. I like that one.
Of course, Nick, you loved being the Manning.
Yes, I did.
You did.
Thank you very much.
All right, as you can tell, we are talking about the 2014-15 Denver. Hopefully, we can win a Super Bowl Manning Broncos.
Yay!
Yes, we finally get to talk about a good team because the last couple of days we've been talking about Chudsky team galore, right?
Yeah, well, we got to go over the worst division in football, so.
That is true. We've moved from the worst division to probably the most surprising division last year because, let's be honest, there were a lot of good teams in this division. San Diego was really good. Kansas City was beyond expectations good.
And then
Denver.
There were the Oakland Raiders.
Wait, they're in this division?
The Raiders.
Are you sure?
The Raiders.
Are we allowed to switch teams? Like the NFC West is amazing. Like, if we made the AFC a little bit
I would say
better,
they're pretty amazing last season.
except for Oakland.
Yeah.
Oakland.
There's always a bad grub in there.
Yeah.
St. Louis wasn't that good.
Rarely are all the teams good. I mean, to have 3 teams in the playoffs is pretty freaking good.
Yeah, and 3 or 4 years before this, last season, the NFC West was like the worst division in football. So.
Yeah, that was where winning records go to die. It was like 7-9 would win you the division.
Yep.
Which is just depressing.
That actually happened.
Yes, that did happen.
We bared witness to that.
And then they won a play. Remember that was Seattle the year they won a playoff game against New Orleans. Yep. 7-9 team.
And everybody was all up in arms, like, should they be able to? Well, yeah, they should.
Yep, we're talking about good divisions, but we need to talk about the AFC West leading Denver Broncos. But before we get into that today, I wanted to ask you a question about a certain guy. I believe he used to wear number 4 for a team that you like, the Green Bay Packers,
yes,
and that is Brett. Hold on,
Favre.
Favre. Brett Favre's having his number retired, and apparently we have an entire year to talk about it because when is he inducted?
Next year they
That's
do.
Insane.
Green Bay does their induction ceremony in July, and we are in August, so they decided that they would announce it right after July. I am very happy that they did it the way that they did it.
Yeah, can you please explain to me why? Because I saw this and I went, like, are they trying to make this like a spectacle where they're going to have like 100,000 fans at this ceremony or something? Is that what they're
I certainly
doing?
hope so, and I'm going to be looking into it. I don't know. I've never been to Lambeau Field, but I might have to make this my first trip.
This might be your least expensive chance to go to Lambeau Field.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And it'll be nice out too.
Absolutely. I think that this is a good move on their part. First of all, because he was always going to retire. His jersey was always going to be retired. He's one of the greatest Packers in the history of that organization, and this gives the fans another year to just relax, to soak it in. Hey, he's coming home. I know we had some differences at the end of his career, but the fact of the matter is he was one of the best players that we ever had, and you need to welcome him back with open arms. This will just get that discussion out there so that people can put their crap aside and just deal with it.
Serious question. How many times are we going to have to see a montage on ESPN with that music in the background? I'm coming home.
There will never be too many.
It's going to be 1,000. ESPN is going to go, oh, wait, it's a month out. Oh, it's 2 weeks out. Oh, it's 1 week out. And they're just going to bombard
We all
you
know
with
he's going to be well received. Everybody will say how great it is, and then we'll move on.
I won't.
I would say
Green Bay
Packer fans will never move on.
Why?
Never.
Why should we? Wait. Oh yeah, we have a really good quarterback now.
Because
so
there's
I'm
a better player on the field.
That remains to be seen.
Yeah,
I love my boy Aaron.
Yeah, talk
but
to me.
Let him do it first.
Yeah, talk to me in 10 years when he's anywhere close to any of the Brett Favre records. It's probably 10 years.
He could very well could be. Just needs to not get ransacked by Julius Peppers. Since we had to go out and buy him, but. Anyways, whatever. I'm happy about it.
You did have to go.
Yes,
and
we
buy
did. We had to go out and buy her, and then they went and got Jared Allen.
Do you think Brett Favre would be able to make a name out of these players on this team like Aaron Rodgers is?
He did it repeatedly throughout his career, so yes, I do.
So who? Donald Driver?
Bubba Franks.
Antonio Freeman.
Bubba Franks was a beast. Antonio Freeman was awesome.
Okay, but why?
Brett Favre was fantastic. Don't even tell me that he wasn't.
Yeah,
if you want to get me, fired up early,
Yeah, he's trying to incite a riot.
I'm just saying I think Aaron Rodgers is better.
Number 4. We want more.
All right, we
4.
have to transition here from one of the best quarterbacks of all time to another of the best quarterbacks of all time Peyton Manning.
Probably the best of all time.
But okay, but I transit.
I'm putting in my 2 cents. I'm putting in my 2 cents.
On my transition.
Yeah, he's being fair. You are.
I'm being fair. I'm saying
I would be completely fair in saying that yes, I agree with Nick.
What, that Peyton Manning is
He's the
best of all time?
He's the best.
Yeah,
It's been a privilege to watch. I hope we have 2 more years left.
I was very surprised when he came back from the neck surgery thinking that one hit could potentially end his, walking life, never mind just his career with neck injuries. Literally one hit could end you. It's bad, but apparently it's not as bad as we thought. Doctors wouldn't advise him to play if it were that grave, I would say.
It healed.
Yeah.
It healed. I mean, we talked about David Wilson. Clearly, that surgery just didn't work out, and now he's not going to be around anymore.
Yep.
But Peyton Manning, great doctors, got it done, back at it. And now suddenly we're thinking that there's going to be this decline. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, it's new pieces coming in. I don't think the word regression should be used, but I think there's going to be a different fantasy outlook for this team. Not overall as a team, but fantasy, there's going to be some moving pieces. Things will happen. Certain guys will go up. Certain guys will go down.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't think it's going to be with him.
No.
Whoever goes up, if Sanders doesn't have a great year, if he does, if Welker doesn't have as great of a year, whatever, I just don't think there's going to be this, based on the fact that Peyton Manning is able to avoid getting hit. We didn't see much of a, he got better last year.
Is he able to avoid getting hit?
For the most part.
He can gingerly.
When he plays some sissy defenses.
He can gingerly walk around.
I'm saying, okay, but you have to admit that the formula for beating guys like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady has always been get pressure on them in the pocket.
Yep.
It's always been that way.
But he gets the ball out. It's not saying
absolutely.
It's not saying that he doesn't get pressure out. He always knows when it's coming and gets the ball out before he takes a big hit most of the time.
Fortunately for him, he did not get the ball out quick at all in the Super Bowl, and they got crushed by a defense that knew how to get pressure on him. So, yeah, and I totally agree. He does know how to get the ball out quick, but he gets to play those defenses all throughout this season. He gets to play the Seahawks, the 49ers, the NFC West,
the Rams, the Cardinals. This is going to be a really tough year for them. And they're playing the AFC East.
Well, the Buffalo Bills were, second in the league in sacks?
Really good. But I'm saying the AFC, this is not going to be...
Why can't we get Peyton at the Ralph? That is just so upsetting.
I know, that is kind of, that's crap.
Very frustrating.
The Bills never get anything good.
No, we don't get anything. You don't get the teams to come in that might whoop your ass, and you just don't get to see them.
Or how about last year when they were promised a Monday night football game and a Thanksgiving game? Oh yeah, that was great.
Nothing.
That was great.
And how could they, after the loss of Ralph Wilson, with all the things that the Bills have going on, not get a night game this year? And they didn't get a night game last year.
Nope. It's depressing.
So now they have two straight years of Thursday night away games.
Do you remember that game against Dallas? How big of a deal that was to the Ralph? Just ridiculous.
Also the rivalry as well.
It's absurd.
Yeah, the fallout was a big deal too.
Yeah. All right, we don't have to talk about the 2013-14 Denver Broncos. Everyone knows what happened. 1,000,000 yards. Peyton went absolutely nuts. Got the NFL record for touchdowns. The entire offense had a ton of production. Let's talk about instead what happened to this team in the offseason. They basically lost some names. They lost Noshan Moreno. They lost Eric Decker. They lost defensive guys that had name value like Champ Bailey, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, who had a great year. But they replaced them with, I think, better players.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So a lot of people who aren't really familiar with NFL and they just see the names like, oh, Champ Bailey, one of the best cornerbacks of all time. The guy was like 36. He's an old man.
He didn't
even play much last season.
No, he didn't.
And then they got Talib.
Right.
For pound, that's a huge upgrade. And then you got TJ Ward to shore up that safety. I think the numbers for last season on defense were actually a little bit skewed only because they were up by so many points that teams just had to bomb it on them. And guess what? Your passing defense, no matter how good it is still going to get yards against if you're just getting bombed on in the second half.
Still 27th in the passing game and 19th overall. I agree with you. I think they're a little bit skewed, but they definitely wanted to improve on defense.
And
because
they certainly did.
And on the same note, you could have said that the 7th against the rush was skewed because teams weren't rushing against them as often.
Yep.
I
agree. I think the defense is a little bit better than advertised because, when you're up by that many points, what are you going to do when your defense is on the field a lot, especially in the second half?
Well, I mean, yes and no. I'd have to look at the numbers, but, I mean, the Broncos, they play a ball control offense, so they do – like when we watched them against the Patriots, it was methodical, 3-4 yard passes all day long. And the Patriots rarely got on the field. I have to go back and look at everything from last year if that was true across the board. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know how much time they were spending out there, but they were definitely skilled.
Yeah, it's more just getting down late in the second half and every possession being throwing to try to make up time and them playing a, whatever you call it.
What?
Methodical.
Just a
prevent
defense.
Oh, prevent. Yeah.
I was like a retreat.
They tried doing that against the Ravens. They tried doing that against the Ravens 2 years ago. And you saw how well that worked out. That prevent defense. Oh yeah, just don't give up a touchdown.
Get it out, Jimmy.
Whoops, didn't happen. All right, another guy we didn't mention that they added. They added DeMarcus Ware, who I think is not only going to have a good year, he's going to help Von Miller have an amazing year.
Now, are they switching their defense from a 3-4 to a 4-3? I know they have a base 4-3 now, but is that different from last year? I can't remember.
I doubt. Why would they change?
Well, because it wasn't as good.
Well,
I don't know. Because Von Miller he's a pass rusher.
Yep.
So a 4-3 pass rusher is a heck of a lot different than a 3-4 pass rusher. I don't know. I can't remember. But either way, I agree.
It's definitely possible. I mean, these guys are beasts. I love DeMarcus Ware.
I can't believe the Cowboys didn't.
I know.
That was so stupid.
Only 10. Well, they don't have any money. First off,
but that was dumb.
He's still got some mileage left, and he's also a great leader for this defense.
Absolutely.
You see, Champ Bailey not being there anymore, regardless of the fact that he declined a bit, he was still a big leader for the defense, a big veteran, a big voice in the locker room. DeMarcus Ware brings that.
I mean, for a guy that plays in Dallas, everybody talks. They're all big about with their voice. And DeMarcus Ware, you just never saw that. You just saw him be a strong, silent type out there. He showed how to play.
Which is part of the reason why he's going to fit in perfectly in Denver. It's just kind of a do your business, be a professional, and go to the Super Bowl.
Be a leader.
Oh, God. Okay.
Be a leader.
Yes. Is that Peyton Manning? Is that Peyton Manning? It probably is. All right. Coming up after the break, we are continuing to talk Denver Broncos offense, and you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on 105.5 The Team.
The Star Fantasy League show. Information is key to being a successful fantasy team owner, and the guys have all the updated info you need right now. Okay, fantasy sports fans.
There's a letter in your mailbox.
Time to dig into Donald's mailbag for your questions and comments.
Read the mail, read the mail, read the mail.
Jump in the game. Send your questions and comments to the Star Fantasy League's team by tweeting at SFL Show.
That is right. You can be a part of the SFL Show just by tweeting us at SFL Show on the Twitter. You could be a part of Donald's mailbag, but because we're going over all 32 NFL teams and trying to give as much information as possible in a shortened amount of time, we only have an hour.
The mailbag has been getting dumped out on the floor.
Yeah, that's true. We're acknowledging your questions on Twitter if you ask them to us, so we will respond to you on there if we don't get to it on the show because we're talking about the potential, Super Bowl contending Denver Broncos. So we're clearly going to spend this entire segment talking about that.
Yeah, they deserve it. They've earned it. And there's a lot to talk about, especially because they are just a sea of fantasy studs with some questions, though.
A sea of family studs. I like that.
Fantasy.
A sea of fantasy studs.
He said family.
Did I really? That's what I thought you said originally. That's probably
Peyton's family of studs.
I like that.
That could be the next T-shirt.
Done.
That could be a fantasy football team name. Fantastic.
I'm perfectly okay with that. I have no issues with it.
But there's no way that you're going to get all those guys on the same team.
All right, so we talked about the defense before the break. We're going to talk about the offense, but I wanted to start out with the biggest offseason question for the 2014-15 Denver Broncos, and it is: will the Denver Broncos offense see any major declines with their losses in free agency, in addition to their key players getting older? That is a major reason why people are assuming some kind of decline. Wes Welker has injury problems, getting older. Peyton Manning, the man, is certainly getting a little bit older every year.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to see any decline. I mean, Wes Welker, sure, possibly. I think the decline is going to come based on the schedule. I really do. I think facing the NFC West is going to cause them a few problems. They're really going to need to figure out how to run an offense when they know they have the Seahawks in their face. They know they have the 49ers in their face. They're going to have to figure out how to run their offense the right way.
I was like, Zach's trying to figure out a counter to this, but I don't know.
I just don't know if I agree with that because
Like across the board, are we talking overall numbers?
Well, what do you mean? I mean,
How are you supposed to
run their offense the right way just because they got crushed in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, no, they got crushed because that defense knew how to play against Peyton Manning, and for some reason, everybody was inept.
That's fine. They were better prepared. The Denver defense was atrocious. Peyton, despite the rushes and everything, wasn't very good, even though he had all the pressure on him. I'm just saying, I think that there's but it's an addressable issue. It's not something that is just like eluding them. They know what they have to do. They know they have to get better in certain ways. I don't think there's a restructuring of the offense that is going
not a
on.
Restructuring by any means. That's
they
not
needed
what
to
I'm
up their
advocating
defense.
for.
That was the big thing.
No way. How can you figure they lost the Super Bowl because of the fact that Seattle's defense
They threw 3 picks in the first 3 possessions.
Yeah, because Seattle's defense knew what they were doing. Seattle's defense won that game. It's very simple. The same way that Peyton Manning has gotten beat throughout his entire career,
okay.
they got pressure on him.
Do you think that the Niners would have come in and beaten them as well?
Not to that extent, but I think they've had a good chance, yes.
They had a good chance.
Well, and if Navarro Bowman's leg hadn't snapped.
You don't think...
Oh, God, why do you have to talk about that?
You don't think that the Seahawks played the perfect game?
Yes, they did play the perfect game, but I still think they would have beaten them.
All right, so tell me about this offensive restructuring that needs
There's
to
not
occur.
an offensive restructuring. That's not what I'm advocating. What I'm saying is teams that can get pressure on Peyton Manning with a four-man rush are going to be successful because they have guys like Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas in the secondary that are going to play strong physical defense. And when you're dropping 7 guys back and you get pressure with 4,
what you're saying, you're saying you need both.
You're saying if they meet up again in the Super Bowl this year, this thing's over.
No, because if you looked at the changes along the defensive line for Seattle, I'm just saying it's going to be difficult for them to put up record-breaking numbers.
Well, yeah,
55 touchdowns.
Well, yeah, because they'd have to break their own records.
Exactly,
that is true.
And that's what I'm saying. I think that it's going to get scaled back.
I agree with you. The schedule overall is more difficult.
Yeah,
I don't know that you're going to see 50 touchdowns. I don't even know if you're going to see 45 touchdowns from Peyton this year.
Yeah, against the defenses they are playing, I think Peyton Manning is going. I don't like the word regression because you mentioned
they
it
got
is
to play
playing
the
defenses.
NFC East last year. Do you remember the Dallas Cowboys game? They scored 50 points.
How about
Do you
Philadelphia?
remember
Yeah,
Philadelphia.
Washington didn't have.
They got to blow those defenses apart because they stunk. They were terrible.
Yeah, they're certainly going to have a much tougher road this time.
I still think that the Broncos offense is going to be, if not the best, one of the best in the league.
All right, let's talk about this new look, quote unquote, offense, which is going to be led by Monty Ball. That's why second biggest question I have is: will Monty Ball have a chance to become a breakout fantasy star without Noshawn Moreno around? Because he's just handed the keys. The poor guy just had an appendectomy basically before training camp, so he might not even play in these preseason games. So my question is: do you think this time off is really detrimental to him? It's only his second season. He didn't even have first team reps last preseason. Now he's not going to have any reps with the first team.
I think he showed more than enough progress throughout the course of the year, especially getting in the playoffs when they were fearlessly utilizing him, in some cases over Noshawn Moreno because he was better in certain situations. I think he's going to be in great shape. I'm not really worried about Ronnie Hillman. They can keep saying whatever they want about Ronnie Hillman getting better.
They said the same things last year.
Every year this was, they thought this guy was going to be the guy when they drafted him.
And he is.
But they also thought the same thing about Hillman. And it didn't work out. They knew it didn't work out, so they went out, they got Ball. They knew that Ball was the answer, so they got rid of Noshawn.
Monty Ball is a much more accomplished runner than Ronnie Hillman, so for him, this job is his. And if you remember what he looked like in college, remember he broke the record for the most touchdowns by an FBS player.
He was a beast.
He was unbelievable for Wisconsin. It was unreal. So he needs to be given the ball. He will be ready for week 1. Absolutely a breakout. Whether he's getting drafted too high or not, that can be up for debate.
And all this crap about the small running back that goes on in every NFL draft and speculation, it never works out.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of criticism about Monty Ball coming in to Denver initially and where he would be picked in the NFL draft because of how small he was, it's not going to be a factor.
He's a proven beast of a runner who's going to continue to get chances.
An awesome receiver.
And he has a nose for the end zone.
Yeah, he only had 20 catches last season, but again, he didn't really actually start playing until week 10 when he started getting into the offensive swing. Mm-hmm. But let's be honest, if Moreno could have as many catches, I think he had 50 something last season, I believe. If he can do that, imagine what Moneyball can do when given the full keys to that offense.
Yeah, no Sean Marino. If you don't think that he was a product of Peyton Manning's offense, you've got another thing coming. Every running back that Peyton Manning has had in his offense has been good, and that's what happens when you have so many good players on the team, such a good quarterback, that you can spread the field to such a large degree that holes just open up all over the place. It is such an easy offense to run in, but Moneyball should just blow up because he's got the talent regardless of that offense, but he does have that offense.
Moreno finished with 60 receptions for 540 yards, and he rushed for over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, so. he had 1,600 total yards, 13 touchdowns. That's insane.
And they let him go without a big care in the world.
Yeah,
now he's sitting behind Lamar Miller.
Yep.
So all right, what does that tell you?
Let's talk about we've talked about running backs. C.J. Anderson, I'm sure, will have some kind of say in this offense at some point, but fantasy-wise,
yeah, I see him getting drafted at the end of drafts. Not very smart right now, unless you have Moneyball.
And this isn't Mike Shanahan's Denver, where all of a sudden the third-string running back becomes the guy, and you get all fired up about it. That's not going to happen.
No, but let's talk about these wide receivers because there are certainly a lot of them. We're gonna lump Julius Thomas in here with receivers in general. But, man, there are a lot of guys who could potentially jump into this Eric Decker spot. I'm not completely sold on Emmanuel Sanders. He's got the dropsies. I've noticed in his time in Pittsburgh, he drops a lot of balls, a lot of easy balls thrown to him. I don't think Peyton Manning's a guy who, if you continue to drop perfectly passed balls, he's going to continue giving you chances. I don't think he is.
I think he does. I think you're right. I agree with you. That is his issue. That is his issue. But I do think he's kind of more explosive than Decker. I think he can.
He's explosive. I don't know if he's more explosive.
I think he can get separation quicker than Decker and get down the field quicker. I don't have the 40 times in front of me, but
okay, I'm glad you don't have the 40 times.
I think the question is really where he's gonna fit on the offense, because I know Wes Welker is a slot guy, but Emmanuel Sanders seems like he would fit in that role too. I don't know. I mean, I think any receiver that plays in Peyton Manning's offense gets an automatic boost, but I'm a little bit wary of him too. I mean, he's getting drafted in the 6th round. You really got to be sold on him if you're going that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's going way too high, and some people are taking him thinking that they're going to get Decker-like numbers. I think he can approach that. I don't think he will get there, but I think that he's the clear-cut 4th guy, and Cody Latimer, he is a development project. He's not going to be the guy that gets in there and makes an impact instantly.
Well, Denver has time.
Right.
Maybe they're trying to develop him
unless some sort of injury happens, he's not going to see any time. I like Sanders to get maybe 4/5 of Decker's production.
Here's the other issue: size. Sanders is under 6 feet. Decker was 6'3". He can stretch a little bit more. He can go up against cornerbacks. I mean, that could play into a role. And that's why I say, is he really going to fit in really well on the outside as that number 2 guy on the outside where Decker was?
Well, I mean, he was doing that in Pittsburgh alongside Antonio. He was the number 2. Kotcher was in the slot.
But he wasn't putting up the numbers that Decker did.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't.
And I just don't know that you're going to see him go up against a number 2 cornerback and be able to beat him to the point of attack, get up over that guy.
All right, so we agree. I think Emmanuel Sanders in the 6th round is just you're grabbing too early.
You can get him in in the 7th or 8th. But I don't think he's going to fall that far.
All right, what about Monty? We talk about Moneyball a lot. He's going as the number 7 overall running back, 14th. That's early 2nd round. So I probably maybe late 1st, early 2nd is where he's going.
Yeah, I don't mind him. Even late 1st, I don't
mind him. Well, that's your first pick. You got to love it.
Well, it depends on who's there. I mean, if I see that Moneyball is the last running back, if everybody went running backs and nobody picked Kelvin Johnson, well, then I'd probably pick Kelvin Johnson.
Well, yeah.
But it's difficult for me. If I have the 9th pick, 10th pick, I'm probably not going to take him. if I have 12th early in the second round, then I'm definitely going to want to get him if he's there. A lot of upside, very good in PPR leagues, in my opinion.
Yes, speaking.
No, Sean Marino finished 11th overall in PPR leagues.
Yeah,
that's what
insane.
you're looking for. So if you can get Monty Ball in the first round, I think you have to.
Here's my question: a guy that's going a couple spots higher, he's number 7 overall, second wide receiver, Demaryius Thomas. I think he's going to get more production only because we are getting a downgrade from Decker to Sanders. I think Peyton Manning's going to rely on him even more this season.
Yeah, I don't think you can miss on Demaryius Thomas. I think that's a guarantee.
That's the tough thing for me is that if I get down there and there's been 6 picks gone and I'm looking at Johnson, Ball, and Graham and Thomas.
No.
I don't know.
Who?
I don't know. I think
Who
I would
is
go
it?
with Monty Ball. I really do.
Wow.
I think I would go with Monty Ball.
All right, you're going on a limb. I'm sticking with the old faithful Demaryius Thomas. Please give me some production. All right, coming after the break, we're done with the Broncos. We're talking about Major League Baseball for Wednesday, and you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on 105.5 The Team.
Play fantasy sports for cash prizes. Join the top daily and weekly fantasy leagues in the country at starfantasyleagues.com. Now, back to the Star Fantasy League show with Donald, Teddy Bear 2, and the Deucey Moose. Only on the Team.
We are back, and we are done with the 2014-15 Denver Broncos, which means we have moved on to baseball.
Do we have to? I
said,
have a lot more things that I'd like to say.
Do you guys want to continue talking about Denver for a few minutes?
Well, we didn't talk about Julius Thomas.
Who?
Who?
Julius.
I don't understand why you do that. You do that all the time. You say who, and you know exactly who I'm talking about.
Of course I know who you're talking about. The second best
what
tight
is-
end in the
what is
league, that guy?
Second best?
Second or third.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What, you think if he plays a full 16-game season, he's not the second best tight end in the league?
See, I have a question. I really do have
over
questions
Gronk
about
and
that.
Graham?
I don't think Gronk plays a full season for the 8th season
that's-
in a row, it seems.
That's a fair bet.
Yeah, it is a fair bet.
Yeah, so I'm saying Julius Thomas, if he plays 16, that's what I'm saying. Again, you have to say if he plays 16. That's what it is.
Jordan Cameron could certainly slide into that number 2 spot.
Oh, could he?
Honestly.
Yes, he could. However, I'm not sold on taking a tight end this early. I'm really not. I mean, Julius Thomas's numbers are a little bit off because of the fact that he only played 14 games. However, they are also boosted because of the fact that he had 12 touchdowns. So, if he doesn't score as many touchdowns, then is he really worth a 3rd round pick?
I just find so many there's such a drop off to so many annoying players in my opinion.
Annoying players
Like
as
Dennis,
in
like
overall?
Dennis
Annoying
Pittock,
how? I mean,
tight
Kyle
ends.
Rudolph, Vernon Davis wouldn't have really had a great year if it hadn't been for all those touchdowns that he got, which the odds of that repeating itself is crazy. I just see the top 4, and then I see a drop-off. As I told you before we went on the air, I really like Greg Olsen. I think that Greg Olsen could have a great year with all of the or lack thereof offense that they have in Carolina.
All of
He's
you
been a
mean none of
reliable player for Cam Newton for a
That's
couple
true.
years, and he could have an excellent year. He could have a top 5 year in my opinion. But when it gets low there, I'm like, all right, well, you got me 6 catches and 50 yards. Thanks.
Yeah, but I mean, some of those guys there, I know Martellus Bennett is suspended, but Bennett or Charles Clay or those guys down there, you could pick 2 towards maybe the 8th, 9th, 10th round, and then you just pick the best matchup. Whoever has the best matchup.
That's what I advocated for last year. I had Martellus Bennett and I had Martellus Bennett and Jimmy Graham last year. Never mind, because Jimmy Graham fell
So
to
you advocate?
on the show I advocated for picking 2 of the guys you think could break out for tight ends, like a Jordan Cameron and a Bennett, or Jordan Cameron and somebody else.
I mean, it's
And
tough. It depends on how much upside you think Julius Thomas has versus some of the running backs and wide receivers. I really think that you need to get your 2 starting running backs with your first 4 picks. If you do not get your starting running backs there, you're done. I really think you're screwed.
What if I just started stacking in the 8th or 9th round though?
What do you mean?
If I just
running
started,
backs?
Yeah, well, if I started
Who
stacking,
are you stacking there?
Are you gonna let me finish?
Maybe.
Yeah,
If
you
I
guys
start-
gonna be little fighting
if,
girls
If I
here?
start stacking the backup running backs, the stud guys, if I get White, if I get Hyde, if I get Trey Mason, if I get who's the other guy that I'm not thinking of?
Oh, great, we know.
Devontae Freeman.
Yeah,
maybe.
Freeman, maybe.
Maybe. But that's what I mean. You don't think you need to get a guy that's going to start consistently
Well,
every
no,
week?
I have been.
So good for you.
I feel
Look what
I
you're
feel
doing.
pretty
You're,
good about it.
you're advocating for one
am the
thing,
man.
and things are happening.
It's,
Oh, and
it's tough.
related news from what we talked about yesterday, Bishop Sankey is not at the top of the depth chart right now. Sean Green is.
See, that's what we said. You got to wait. You can't just.
I'm going to wait because it's going to be Bishop Sankey.
It doesn't make any sense. I don't know why coaches do that, Maybe it's just to get them motivated.
Earn your keep.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, good, yeah, earn your keep over Sean Green, who we talked about on yesterday's show.
Go eat another Twinkie, Sean.
Oh, my goodness.
Is he heading the Lendale White route? Is that what we're talking about?
Lendale White, yeah.
Again, former Tennessee Titan, former 400-pound man.
Is there another guy that got big? Didn't Vontae Leach get pretty big? But he's just big.
Vontae Leach was a fullback, and I can't believe that he doesn't have a job right now. Or maybe he does.
Depressing.
It is depressing.
I can't believe the last thing we're going to mention on today's show in relation to football is Vontae Leach's weight. That's going to happen.
He was the man.
God love him.
All right,
to be the man.
We got to move on to baseball. You have just over an hour to set your lineups on StarFantasyLeagues.com. For Major League Baseball, on Wednesday, there are 11 games to break down. And, man, today is the middling pitcher Wednesday. It really is. There is only one guy over 15,000 on StarFantasyLeagues.com. And I hate him. I hate him tonight.
Jake Arrieta. He is going to dominate Colorado.
Sarcasm or no?
No sarcasm whatsoever.
Okay,
you
so
are definitely wrong.
On a night that there are, 14, 15 pitchers between 10 and 12,000?
Oh, I got the recipe for success, baby.
Okay.
Yep.
I would love to know your recipe for success because yesterday...
My recipe for what?
Success. What are you, 12?
Jake Arrieta going up against an absolutely ridiculously depleted Colorado lineup, which they really didn't put up any runs until the bullpen came in last night.
That's true.
And Brett Anderson, by the way, was actually really solid until his back seized up. But anyways, he's going to be dominant. He's been fantastic all year. He's going to crush this lineup. They don't stand a chance. So then you're going to pair that with Shelby Miller going up against our Red Sox, who can't hit the broad side of a barn, and you're good to go.
Well, they don't have to hit a barn. They just have to hit a green thing, although they're in St. Louis. That joke doesn't make any sense.
I think Nick could be successful with that.
Yeah?
Very successful.
I'm actually I'm interested in what you guys think about Joe Kelly, because this whole intangible thing about pitching against a team that literally just traded you away like 4 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a little funky spot. I mean, the value is there, but I feel like
he hasn't been good.
I don't think it's the right way to go tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking at him like I want to take him, but
I found a guy with value.
Yeah. Okay, everybody has value tonight. You didn't really find a guy that had value. Everybody does.
No, I scoured for this guy. It took me
goody.
probably at least half an hour of research to find
no,
Justin Verlander, who, by the way, is coming off an 8.7-point performance
against Colorado, right? Wasn't that?
Yeah.
Game against Colorado.
Yeah, which is great.
He's Colorado,
going
too,
up against Chris Capuano, or however you say his name.
Capuano? Chris Capuano? Pronunciation is
whatever
dead
it is. I don't really care.
Show.
He's terrible.
He's going up against the Yankees.
That was beautiful. Yeah, I don't like that.
I'm not worried about that at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too worried.
Okay,
either.
I was wondering, Nick. Yeah, you mean you don't like the matchup, right? I don't like it at all.
I don't know.
I don't like a lefty-heavy lineup against Verlander.
I think Verlander is. I think he is finding some support from his buddy David Price coming on board.
This team
you don't think that's a possibility?
Can't you tell that they're molding together right now?
You don't think that Justin Verlander knows how poorly he's pitched all season? You don't think that eventually he's going to be like, this is crap, I got to figure it out?
Yeah, like suddenly I'm the third or fourth guy on this team.
He really is. He's the third guy on this team right now.
The media has brought it up every day post-game to him. And pre-game,
but
every
and then
single
he gets
day.
to go home to his beautiful girlfriend, and he doesn't have to worry about it anymore. But now, in August, they are coming down to the stretch. I'm just trying to support Zach.
Yeah,
here.
can't you feel it? Can't you feel it?
Honestly, I have.
He pitched a great game last time, and you know what he did again? He gave up 2 runs in the 7th inning. Otherwise, shutout.
Okay.
In song form.
I really wish we could be.
Sang it.
I really wish we could be impartial here, but we can't because Zach is such a Detroit Tigers fan. We just can't see.
I don't
outside
feel
that
impartial
bubble.
right now, though. Listen, I'm finally hitting my hot streak. He's finally starting to come around, and I'm going to stick with him.
You don't feel impartial?
No, you feel
because you aren't being impartial.
Yeah.
You're
I
being
don't feel partial.
There you go. Lovely. All right, I have some other because we mentioned there are a ton of guys between 10 and 12,000 tonight. It's a weird schedule. Wei-Yin Chen has been on kind of a tear recently. He is going up again. He has been on a tear. Look at his numbers. He's been over 8 fantasy points.
He did have a
2 or
great
3
game
times.
last game, but why would I look at him?
Don't you remember I said that he would do that? Go ahead.
Why would I look at him in Toronto?
Because Toronto actually against Rays against lefties has not been that good this season. Surprisingly, I looked at the numbers. I was a little bit put off by that. They're 20th against them.
Well, I don't know. I think there's
strange.
I think there's better options. The fact that Drew Hutchison has actually had a lot of success against Baltimore. I think that's a little bit more enticing.
All right,
where Jordan Lyles.
And then Jordan Lyles. Yeah, I mean,
it's
his first game back, but I mean, the Cubs stink.
Yeah, it is the
Cubbies.
Cubbies.
Another 10-pointer on that game.
Yeah, and
doesn't make sense.
It's ridiculous. And then
because
how
of their
about
bullpens.
Dougie Fister? I think he has one of the best matchups. He's been really good this season at home against the New York Mets, who are fairly hapless.
Yeah, they are. I like that.
Yeah, Fister, yeah, he has the ability to go out there and give you 8 to 10.
I love this country, man.
But just remember that if the Mets can win these next 2 games, they'll close this thing to 5 games, whatever that means.
Yeah.
Can they
doesn't,
really?
Doesn't mean a whole lot.
Yeah, they can. Because they got the next 2 against Washington. If they win both, they're only 7 back right now.
Wow.
Only 7.
All right, and the last guy I wanted to mention really quickly, man, Danny Salazar, what is this guy doing? He can strike out people at a ridiculous clip. He has the highest strikeout per 9 of the night. He's going up against a team that I don't think has anyone on it healthy in Cincinnati.
So what is he doing? Your question was, what is he doing?
Yeah, I don't know. He hasn't been good, but yet he strikes out a ton of people. He just isn't all that good, but when he has decent matchups, he's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Cincinnati's so banged up, you could pretty much put in anybody. You could put in some of those Little League pitchers right now.
That's what I'm saying.
With his high K rate, he could have a gem tonight.
Yeah, if he pitches 7 innings and gets like 8 Ks, that's a monster number. That's why I'm scared of him, I'll be honest.
So you're rolling out the Salazar?
I mean, if you look at it, it's an over-under of 7. You would think Lotto's, with his capabilities, might be favored, but he's not. Cleveland is favored in this game.
Well, I think it's because of Cleveland's offense.
It is. It's because of the matchup of the offenses. But with Salazar's Ks and Cleveland having a good chance at winning this game, you could be in good shape.
Yeah. Don't forget, it is in Cincinnati, though. That place is a bandbox. It's one of the best hitting parks in the league. That's my only problem here.
Well,
but.
I don't know. I think
Salazar.
All right, speaking of hitting, we got to quickly mention some stacks you're interested in. I know you saw some big over-unders, especially in that Detroit Yankees game, and then you got the the Cubs-Colorado game, which you guys are kind of sour.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're all probably going to be on the Detroit train. I think there's one other or two, well, actually 2 other that I was looking at. That L.A. Dodgers-L.A. Angels game, I like the fact that Dan Herron is on the hill because – the Angels should be able to take advantage of that.
He has not been good at all.
No, he hasn't. I mean, he's been okay. He does well against poor teams, which doesn't say anything.
Not the
for
Angels.
Him, so. Yeah, so I think the Angels are a good way to go. And the other one I like Washington against John Neese. I know I advocated for Neese against San Francisco last time, but Washington's a heck of a lot better against lefties.
But if you are putting in some Angels, who are you interested in on that team?
Cole Calhoun and Josh Hamilton. I know Hamilton had a bad night last night, but other than that, the past few games he's actually been really good. Last night was Kershaw, and he's not going to do well against Kershaw. He's probably the number 1 guy that's going to do terribly against Kershaw. So I like him. He's at 6,800, and then Cole Calhoun's he's been really consistent. He hasn't had a blow-up game, but he's gotten somewhere between 2 to 5 fantasy points. Hopefully he gets on that 5 area. But
yeah, John Neese you mentioned for Washington stack. He's one of those guys, again, I don't know what it is with Mets pitchers, but against good teams, terrible. Against bad teams, really good.
Yeah, so I think that's definitely. I think you need to put in Jason Worth for sure.
Rendon.
Rendon's a little bit different because I really want to put that Detroit stack in.
That makes sense.
Rendon's really expensive.
Yes, he is. And obviously we mentioned Detroit. I think you can get some value in your lineups for them. You can get Castellanos in there, maybe Avila if you're feeling like you want to worry about some strikeouts because Zach absolutely loves Alex Avila.
No Avila.
No. Not your favorite person?
We'll talk about it.
Eugenio swore. Oh, baby, he's got Alex Avila as his value play of the day. He just spoiled it.
God.
Man, you talk so much smack about him, and then you're going to do this, aren't you?
Well, the 2 nights ago, he just absolutely blew it. Last night, he went boom.
Of course he did. Wonderful. Coming off the break, we're giving you all of our top plays of the day to make your best lineup on StarFantasyLeagues.com. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League Show on 105.5 The Team.
You're listening to the Star Fantasy League Show. Contact the StarFantasyLeagues.com guys via Twitter at SFL Show.
It wouldn't be the Star Fantasy League Show if we didn't spend 4 segments of the day talking about the Denver Broncos.
This show had balls.
Did it?
I'll tell you.
No,
it really did. I was impressed.
Well, yeah, Peyton Manning kept throwing them to us, and we just had to keep catching them. That's why it had balls, right? Is that what happened? No? Zach's not even going to answer me now. He's so uncomfortable. He's just like, head down, not interested in this conversation.
I'm aware of what you're saying.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so we did talk about the Denver Broncos. We have 32 NFL teams to talk about. We are almost done. We're almost halfway through. Excuse me. We're not almost done. We have the NFC coming up next week, but tomorrow It's time for the biggest surprise of the 2013-14 season. The Kansas City Chiefs, led by our boy, that Smith guy, right? Alex Smith?
I love Alex Smith.
I know. Good thing Seth Young's not on the show because he would be crying now.
What is the favorite term that all the announcers use on him?
What?
He's a game manager.
He is a game manager. Yes,
A gamer. I don't know. That's not
He's
true.
a game manager.
All right, but
knows how to not screw it up.
We're gonna get to that's actually true. We're gonna get to the Kansas City Chiefs and Alex Smith tomorrow, but now we got to give you our top plays of the day to make your best lineup on StarFantasyLeagues.com for Major League Baseball Wednesday. Do it, Zach.
All right. Chris Capiano.
Can you say his name right? Chris Capuano.
Chris Capuano.
You can't even get his first name right.
Chrissy Capuano.
All right, get it in there.
I got Victor Martinez at 9,900. Capuano struggles a lot versus lefties, and got to think Martinez could put one out tonight.
Lefties?
I am going. Yeah, he does.
He is a lefty.
I know.
Yeah, he's been really bad against
versus
lefties
lefties.
this season.
Victor's going to be batting right-handed though.
Maybe.
You remember we tried to see if these players and the coaches actually look at these stats. I don't think they do.
Yeah, they don't.
You might be right.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, well,
Continue.
either way, even if he bats right, he'll hit one out. And Alex Avila at 4,000.
There it
Hot.
You trying to sell this to people?
Yeah, he needs to.
He should be able to hit one out today, too. And Justin Verlander, the undeniable great bastion of baseball.
Oh, my God.
10,100 at 8.7.
All right, Nick, it's your turn. I'm cutting him off. He's done. I'm cutting.
Hilarious.
I'm done with him.
I think you need to have Victor Martinez and Miguel Cabrera in your lineup tonight. So Miguel is going to be my play of the day. Jake Arrieta is going to be my pitcher of the day, and I think that Colorado is so depleted that he will be able to take advantage of them just fine. I'm going to go with another pitcher for a value play because Danny Duffy worked out last night.
He did.
And I'm going to go with Shelby Miller versus Boston. I think that the Red Sox have been so terrible and awful.
Atrocious is the word you're looking for.
I think Shelby Miller should be able to win there.
Dumpster fire is another word you're looking for.
And, stack the Tigers, of course, but also take a look at Washington and the Angels as well.
I love that Washington stack as well. John Neese does not fare well against good hitters. If you're bad, he's great. I like Jason Worth a lot for my batter of the day. Pitcher of the day, I'm going with Dougie Fister. I think he's got a good matchup. He's really good at home this season against the New York Mets. Yeah, they're a boring team to me. They just can't really do much. But you mentioned they're closing in. Maybe they make a run. I highly doubt
you never
it.
know. I mean, this is getting towards a must-win situation for them. So
But
they're going to be putting it all out on the line out there. But yeah, it's not the easiest of matchups for them tonight.
Nope. And we got to keep talking Tigers. Tigers. Get some Castellanos in there, right?
Gotta love him.
He's been batting like 6 or 7.
You gotta love the Tigers, really.
There's a lot of depending on who is playing. I've seen a couple names that I've never seen before in those lineups. And if you can get him against a good matchup like Capuano.
We miss you, Andy Dirks.
Capuano.
We miss you.
Yeah, I can't believe you can't pronounce that name right.
Capano.
Chris Capuano.
You're trying to make him something that he
Keep
isn't.
an eye, though, on Justin Verlander tonight because he's going to prove everybody wrong once again.
Yeah, make sure he's not out shopping an hour before the game with whatever her name is. Bouncy Upton.
I will be looking for her in the stands.
Well, he gave her a baseball the other night, so he's got everything covered.
That is so adorable. We're going to give you stuff just like Justin Verlander gave his girlfriend after the game. Who cares? $5 free. Tweet us at SFL Show with your username. $5 into your account. Season long is coming. Daily fantasy football is coming. It's all on StarFantasyLeagues.com. Join the game today.
NFL, baby. Football is almost here, but fantasy football is here.
I'm so excited. I can't even project how excited I am. But you know why I'm really excited? I am so excited to talk about the one, the only Alex Smith tomorrow, and you should be too. Take it easy, guys.